If you are a teacher, a nurse, or any type of employee living and working in Ghana today, you can't afford to skip this video as I expose to you the darkest part of your Ssnit and your mutual fund contributions. But first of all, let me remind you how the economy works. You see, the economy finds its way to ensure that money leaves your pocket at the time it wants, so that you can continue to work more to stimulate the economy's movement. If you had money in your pocket all the time, you would relax and you wouldn't go to work any longer. So some way, somehow, instruments are put in place to withdraw monies from you all the time, so that you go broke and you go back to the work field to work more for the money. And as you continue to work more for the money, then you also stimulate the economy's movement. However, there are two dangerous instruments in the system that are used to ensure that the very first day you started working, you began to be poor till you retire and even probably till you die. And those two policies are the Ssnit and the mutual fund contributions. Listen carefully. You are about to receive the biggest shock of your life after listening through to the end of this video. So to get you working very hard from the very first day you got your job till the day you retire, the government has promised you that once you start working, they will take 18.5% from your basic salary every month, give 5% to Ssnit as tier 1 to manage, and the 13.5% to your employer that will contract fund managers to also manage that part. And when you go on retirement after 60 years, tier 1, which is the Ssnit, will be paying you monthly pension salary, and the tier 2, which is your employer and your fund manager, will give you a lump sum that will be able to help you after 60 years, after you've worked so hard to stimulate the economy to move. This promise is given to you in order to keep you at peace and to have some reliable hope that after 60 years of your life, and after toiling very hard, probably for 30 years for the country, there is a hope that Ssnit and your tier 2 contribution is going to give you a life support that can manage your life very well and for you to have a good life. This is absolutely insane, and they are telling you that even you as a human being, excuse me to say, you don't have the brain to manage your finances from now till you retire. So let's keep some money down for him and make sure we pin him down to continue to work very hard, and promise him that when he finishes working hard for the country, we will give him back the money he himself worked for and contributed to Ssnit and tier 2. As if that was not enough, then your workers' union came, your teacher unions came, and told you a beautiful story that for you to have a better life after retirement, we are all coming together to contribute some monies so that your union, which is your workers' union, in this case if you're a teacher, your teachers' union, will invest the money in something that is going to produce some interest. So after 30 years of working, and when you go on retirement after your 60 years, they would have made some profit, added it to your principal contribution, and they will give that money to you for you to have a better life after 60 years. Now listen very carefully. This is where it gets more interesting. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, 80% of public sector workers receive less than 3,000 basic salary, which means that as an average nurse, an average teacher, you will probably or never go home with an amount of 100,000 Ghana cedis as a lump sum contribution for your tier 2. Also, you are never going to go home with up to 100,000 Ghana cedis from your mutual fund contributions from your workers' union. I'm assuming that, let's say, give or take, you are able to get 75,000 Ghana cedis from your tier 2 contributions, and you get another 75,000 Ghana cedis from your workers' union, which is the mutual fund. That means you are going home with about 150,000 Ghana cedis. Now here's the beautiful question. If you were given 150,000 Ghana cedis today and you are 60 years, what would you use the money for? Normally, you will see all these people who are retired using the money to either complete their building, or buy a small car, or offset their loan, or probably pay their kids' school fees, and sometimes they can even put that money in the bank and be feeding on it small, hand to mouth. If someone is promising you and giving you hope, it relaxes you on your path, but makes you to work hard for them. And you, the teachers, have a principle in the classroom which you always use to stimulate children to learn. How? By giving them gifts, appraisals, and giving them courage and hope that if you are able to answer this question, I'll give you a pencil. If you are able to score this mark, I'll give you a toffee. And that stimuli pushes the children to what? To learn hard, to achieve the target and the result. And then you reward them with a toffee. They are using this same principle on you, and you don't know, because they are giving you the hope that don't worry, just work. Make sure you are working very hard, you are punctual, you are always on time, you do the necessary roles, and every duty is assigned to you. But we will make sure that we handle your financial aspect on your retirement. So the hope is dawned on you that don't worry, don't plan anything. Make sure you're able to pay your bills at the end of the month. Make sure you're able to take care of your children at the Saito schools. Make sure you're able to just go around your normal activities. But at the end of your 30 years in service, when you have clocked 60, we will be able to give you funds that can support your life. And the truth is, none of the pensioners has ever been happy after retirement. Go and check the history. You know it for yourself. These things are happening right in front of your nose. That people go on retirement and they don't even stay up to 5 years. Sometimes 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Excuse me to say, they would have died. You know why? Because many people retire in Ghana with sorrow, grief, and sadness. Because the hope they give you throughout your job, and you have the hope and thinking that once you retire, your life is going to be better from your Ssnit contributions, your mutual fund contributions, you will realize at the end of the day that it was all a scam. Look, my brothers and sisters, we are screwed. You know why? Any system that seeks to take money from you and keep it somewhere is a thief. It's a scam. But somehow you don't know, because it's legal and it's mandatory. So you cannot dodge your Ssnit contributions. By now I know you'll be thinking so much. So what is this guy trying to say? Is he saying that we should stop contributing for mutual funds, or we should stop Ssnit contributions? No, you cannot stop. Maybe you can stop contributing for mutual funds, but you can't stop Ssnit contribution because it's mandatory. But what I want you to understand is, nobody can manage your finances like yourself. And anybody who brings financial management to the table is doing on a purpose. And the purpose is to ensure that, one, you stay broke and work very hard to stimulate the economy, and two, to ensure that they steal your money and make good profit out of it. So that's why they create these systems, take the money from you, manage it very well, accrue a lot of profit, and give you peanuts. But the hope is what pains me, that after 60 years you would enjoy life. Is that possible? So when you have received about 150,000 Ghana cedi and you have probably finished your building, maybe you've got a small car, or you put the money in a bank and you want to feed on. After 2 years, when the money finishes, what is left for you? Pain, sorrow, agony, and sleepless nights. Because you can't even enjoy life after 60. You do not have the money to take care of your bills. You don't have the money to buy medications. Look, wait, this is how it gets more interesting. Do you know that by the norms of Ssnit, it is mandatory for you to reappear at Ssnit after 10 years of your retirement to retake your biodata for what they call life certificate. You know what that means? It means that averagely they are targeting that when you retire at 60, by 10 years you should be no more. So if after 10 years you are still living on this earth, you should go back to Ssnit, re-register yourself, and take a life certificate to tell them that I'm still alive and I still need you to give me my pension salary. Brothers and sisters, this is the wicked system you have. But you don't know. You are hopeful that on retirement you're going to enjoy life. That is a big fallacy. Look, you don't plan your retirement by keeping some money somewhere. No, it doesn't work like that. So you plan your life, you plan your retirement by putting money in assets that keep value or even increase the value of your money, so that by the time you retire, you have assets that you can liquidate when it becomes emergent. You have assets that can produce money on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, or even quarterly basis, such as business, buildings, treasury bills, bonds. Those are the instruments you put your money in to assure yourself for the future when you retire, not giving your money to someone. Look, wake up from your sleep. The people managing your funds at the Ssnit, Tier 2, and the mutual funds are riding in big cars. They are sleeping in duplexes. They are sleeping under ACs. And you are always looking for a chamber and hall to rent. You are always looking for a single room to rent to meet your budget, because they are taking part of your money. Look, you cannot stop the contributions. What you can do is business, business, and business. Are you telling me that in the community you find yourself, there is no need for anything you can provide to make at least 50 Ghana cedis a day? Are you telling me that there's no business idea in your mind, running through your mind right now? Can't you use your weekends? The weekends are not for parties, weddings, and funerals. Can't you use your vacations? The vacation is not for merrymaking. It's not for friendship. It's not for movement all around, idling around. It is for you to be able to secure your future, because this job is not going to secure your future. The mutual fund is not going to secure your future, and the Ssnit contributions will never and ever secure your future. Why would the people managing these funds live a good life, and you that works on the streets, you that go to the village to teach, you that cross rivers to go and treat people, will suffer throughout 30 years and then suffer life after 60, after toiling very hard for your country? Wake up and begin to think. Otherwise, your generation will continue to be poor, because you are taking your children to the poor schools and they are mingling with poor people, and they are all growing up to be poor people, and you yourself will retire as a poor person. And when that happens, what happens to your generation? You continue to sink in the deepest part of poverty. You will never have this information anywhere, not your media stations, not your teacher unions. Nobody will tell you this because they are even scared. But I will tell you. You know why? I'm on a mission. My mission is simple: to liberate you from the system instruments that are kept tactically to ensure that you remain poor, to continue to work to stimulate the economy. Rather, I want to give you the alternatives that you can use to stimulate your own personal economy and finances. I mean, are you saying that if you work very hard on your own business for 10 years, that business cannot survive to take care of you even when you retire? Are you saying your children or your generation cannot even come back and take over that business and manage? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Continue with the contributions because it's mandatory, but make sure you are preparing for your future life by yourself. Your own money. You are managing your own money. You are putting your money in assets. There are so many things you can do. There are online businesses going on. There are so many businesses going on. People are enjoying. You want to sit on this opportunity world. Look at people drive in the Range Rovers. Look at people sleep in the duplexes. Look at people build the mansions legally and rightfully. And you want to look at all these things, give your money to some people to enjoy, and then you go through 30 years of life for working hard, 60 years of life, and you die probably 5 or 10 years after retirement. I am not sure this is the life you sought for. Look, I'm very emotional now, and I want to make sure that you are liberated from these financial systems that pin you down to make sure you remain poor and work for the system. Rather, I want you to take consciousness and realize that anybody taking your money and telling you I want to manage for you is a thief. They are benefiting from it more than you do. And it's not for your health. It's not for your well-being. It is for their peripheral interests. And the moment you realize this, you will begin to plan your life. You will begin to know how to spend your salary. You will begin to know how to invest your money towards your retirement. You may even be able to have your retirement after 45 years or 50 years if you work hard on your own business to be able to have a better life. You deserve it. God gave it to you and you deserve a better life. I'll see you again another time.